the best advice for women in business. Get your fucking ass up, work. Get your fucking ass up, work. Get your fucking ass up, work.
You better work.
It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That's so true.
You have to surround yourself with people that want to work.
So I don't often pay attention to the Kardashian cabal. Well, not anymore at least. And yes, I did really used to love that show, I must confess. But I promise you, I'm completely over that now. For several reasons, which I definitely won't go into detail about in this video, but recently I had a client in my chair and we were talking about, you know, just different things that have been going on in our lives, and she was asking me about my business and my family, and you know, she just asked me like, how do you handle balancing, you know, family and work, and you know, just with how challenging that must be for me. And that's when I made the comment that, I mean, nobody would probably like my answer, but really, you just have to put in the work, you know, and ditch the excuses. And that's when she mentioned to me how Kim Kardashian's recent advice, which was encouraging women in business to work harder, is being blasted online by some who called the remarks insensitive and hypocritical. And I believe the exact quote was, "I have the best advice for women in business. Get your ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days." And as much as it pains me to say this, I cannot help but agree with her. And this is coming from someone who doesn't have a sex tape or $1 million. I do have a big booty, but I'm still on husband number 1. And to give you a bit of a backdrop, the kind of comments that I personally hear all the time in my everyday life are, "Wow, I don't know how you do it," or "God, I don't know where you find the time," or my personal favorite, "Do you ever sleep?" As to which I always respond, "I can sleep when I'm dead." But when I seriously stop and think about, you know, how would I answer these questions, you know, it really makes me think about the relationship that I have had with work ever since, you know, becoming a mom and building my own business over the last 10 years. So I decided I was gonna do a video just about, you know, the life of a mom and an entrepreneur. And so in this video, I'm gonna be answering these repetitive questions that I seem, you know, to always get, so that maybe you can get something out of this and try to implement some of these tips into your own life to achieve a better balance between building your dream business and enjoying the present moment with your close family and friends. Are you ready? Awesome, let's jump in. So there's no question that being a mom and an entrepreneur is a lot of work. But what most people don't realize is that it's a lot of work that can be incredibly rewarding. There are a lot of things that go into building a successful business, and it takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and determination. But if you're willing to put in the effort, you can achieve great things. And one of the most important things is to never give up on your dreams. Now, I've always been kind of a workaholic. I started working as soon as I possibly could. I think I was probably around 13, and I loved being able to make my own money, and I was lucky to really have found my passion at an extremely young age. I went to beauty school at 17, but due to my adolescence, I struggled to make work a priority, especially in my early 20s, when going out with my friends, drinking a little bit too much, and yes, even calling in sick a few times too many. That was definitely the norm for me in my life at that point in time. I mean, what can I say? Having an awesome social life was a little more important to me at the time. It really wasn't until I had my first daughter that I got a lot more focused with how I was prioritizing all of my responsibilities and the way that I used my time. That's why I would say that the first thing that you need to know when it comes to, you know, what it takes to build your own business and be a great mom is first and foremost just your focus. You've got to know what it is that you want, and then you have to, you know, have a conviction about it. Let me give you an example of this. Do you remember when you were a kid and you really wanted that new pair of jeans that like everybody had in school, everyone was wearing them, and your mom finally agreed to get them for you, and she takes you to the mall, and you're looking around, and you know, unfortunately, the jeans you want are nowhere to be found. And in your mind, you're thinking, oh, well, bummer. I guess we're just gonna have to go to another store. But to your surprise, your mom's in the aisle next to you, and she's holding up another pair of jeans that are kind of similar, but different. And these jeans were nowhere on your radar. And they may be really cool jeans, even, you know, might even be better quality or even a better price point, right? But that really didn't matter, because nothing that anybody could say, no one was gonna convince you to give up on finding the jeans that you went there for, right? Well, that's exactly how you have to be when it comes to your business. No matter what anybody says, and no matter what anybody throws at you or tries to advise you of, you have to be convicted that what you're doing and what you want to create is the best option for you, no matter what. After all, if you don't believe in your own dreams, you know, why should anybody else? And hey, I'm Madison, for those of you who are new here, and I help hairstylists, moms, and really just female entrepreneurs in general to build their businesses and reach their goals and discover their higher, more spiritual selves in the process. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, and go click that bell notification too, so you can make sure you're notified every single time I release a new video just like this one. Okay, so the second piece of advice that I have is that you really need to figure out a way that you can blend your family life with your career. And I don't just mean like bringing your kids to work with you. Really what I mean is that you really, you just need to change your mindset here and come to the realization that each of these major responsibilities don't have to be at war with each other. In fact, you should be constantly looking for ways that these can actually complement each other. And here's another example of this. My husband and I, we actually homeschool our children, and we've been doing this for quite a while, way before COVID even happened. And one of the things that we really believe in is child-led learning, which just means that after, your child learns how to do the basics of, reading and writing and basic math, we feel that letting our kids explore their interests is giving them a way better education than just sending them to school and, forcing them to learn something that someone else wants them to know for some unknown reason, right? And by learn, I really mean memorize, AKA brainwashing. And one of the things my almost 11-year-old daughter really wants to do is she's super into like eating healthy, and she really wants to start working out. And she also wants to learn what it's like to have a job. So knowing that, how do I blend my homeschool with my business? Well, as you may know, I do pop-up locations in my hairstyling business, and that's actually where I'm at right now. Okay? That's where I just every other week, I get a hotel room for like 3 to 5 days, and I just take all of my clients in that time frame. Because right now, the hotel that I currently am working out of, they have a pool, and they also have a workout room. So my plan, which actually tomorrow is going to be our first day, is I am bringing my daughter to work with me, and I actually am going to bring her to work with me. I'm going to start doing this so that she can use the gym to do her workouts, and then I'm also going to have her do some light cleaning, and I'll probably just set her up on my computer to do some reporting and some paperwork type of tasks as well. And so integrating these two parts of my life, you can see how that could be really helpful, and it can make a world of difference when it comes to, having the perseverance to keep going as an entrepreneur, especially when you're a mom, right? And also how to keep going as a mom, and a homeschool mom at that. And actually, have it feel as though you're being productive in the process. So what do you think? Is there anything that you can think of that could help you to blend your work and your home life a little bit, more comfortably? Tell me what you are thinking about and what some of your ideas are in the comments below. Okay, so my last tip in how you can juggle life as a mom and an entrepreneur is my absolute favorite one. And that's probably because this advice came from my grandmother on my mom's side, my grandma Sherry. And she's no longer with us. She did pass away, but before she did, she gave me 2 pieces of advice that I will never forget and I will take with me throughout my whole entire life. One of those was to always take off your makeup before you go to bed. And the second one was to write everything down. And honestly, to be successful in business, or really just in life, It's super important to keep yourself organized. And the number one way that I do this is by writing everything down. Because when you have a lot of ideas that are running through your mind at any given moment of the day, it can be so easy to like forget what you want to do or anything that's important that you need to do. And by, you know, keeping a record of our thoughts, we can make sure that like nothing falls through the cracks. And in addition to writing things down, it can help you to track your progress and measure your success, because you'll be able to like look back on what you've already done to see how far you've come. And then you'll be able to set new goals for the future. So never underestimate the power of a pen and paper. They're essential tools for running a successful business or just running a successful life. And one of the ways that I actually really like to keep myself organized is, well, I do it a lot of different ways, and it might seem a little unorganized the way I do it, but I love going to the dollar store and buying a bunch of those little notebooks, all different sizes. I can keep one in my purse, I keep one in my car, I keep one, you know, I keep them everywhere, by the side of my bed. And then I am able to, if something comes up, I can jot it down. You know what I mean? Like I always have something where I can write something down. And if for some reason I don't have something next to me, I actually utilize the notes section in my phone quite a bit. Like I have a ton of notes that I keep and I just to write things down in. And also if you use any like project management tools like Trello or Asana, those are wonderful too. And the way that I do it is I set them up as boards. I might be able to like show you how I do it here somewhere on the screen. Okay, so here's my Asana projects board, and I'm gonna go over here to my Create Day calendar where you're gonna see how I have it set up. I've got a couple of different categories here. So I've got my inbox, hairstylist, CMO Academy, personal life, and then Salon Pink. Okay, so, but you can see at the front here I have what's called inbox. So I've got certain things that I need to do, such as like write out my newsletter, upload my video, or upload my customer proposal forms, right? So now if I'm gonna write out my newsletter, I know that that's actually for Salon Pink, right? So, but just in order to get it out of my head, I like to just put it there first, and then later on when I sit down to do my schedule, I can go, oh, write out my newsletter. That actually goes over in the other section over here in Salon Pink, right? So I can organize it later, but just getting it out of my head and into this inbox category is the key. So that's my little tip for you. I love that trick and it's a game changer. But the first board that I always have and always keep on my accounts is I title that inbox. And that way, if something pops into my head and I don't have a pen and paper near me, I can, you know, we usually always have our phones, so I can grab my phone, get onto my, you know, Trello board, and I can just put whatever I'm thinking right into my inbox, right? So I don't have to worry about like organizing it and putting it in whatever category that it needs to go in, because I can always do that later. So that was it. Those were my top tips for how to run a successful life as an entrepreneur and a mom. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
You better work.
Get your fucking ass up.
Work it, girl. Give it twirl. Do your thing.
It seems like nobody wants to work these
You
days.
better work.
Get your fucking ass up.
Work it, girl. Give it twirl. Do your thing.
It seems like nobody wants to work these
You
days.
better work.
Get your fucking ass up.
Work.
Get your fucking ass up.
Work.
I have the best advice for women in business.
Work.
Get your fucking ass up.
Work.
Get your fucking ass up. Get your fucking ass up.
Work.
You better work.